In the last lecture, we ended our discussion on the assassination of Liaquat Ali Khan in October 1951, and it's a great tragedy that Pakistan lost its two great leaders, Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Liaquat Ali Khan, within a period of almost 3 years. And as Pakistan still did not have an infrastructure in a firm position, and after Liaquat Ali Khan, a period of instability followed. Khwaja Nazimuddin was the second Governor General. Then after Liaquat Ali Khan, he became a second Prime Minister. And the Governor General then was Ghulam Muhammad, who will always be remembered in history for his intrigues. Khwaja Nazimuddin, poor thing, became a great target for shortage of food and his ineffectual handling of the anti-Ahmadi rights. This religious disturbance was more than for anything other concerns, rather economy, politics, settling down the refugees, making everybody comfortable in this new home. And all this did not prevent Ghulam Muhammad from dismissing Khwaja Nazimuddin as Prime Minister. After Khwaja Nazimuddin comes Muhammad Ali Bogra, and the induction of a non-representative Bengali Prime Minister did not make Bengalis happy. And in 1954, in political arena, the provincial elections created a lot of stir. In East Bengal, the ruling Muslim League was defeated by the United Front. So that was the first ever instance to begin the descent in Bengal. Sohrawardi was the seasoned politician, but he was not given a chance at that point of time, and Ghulam Muhammad got very emboldened by the removal of Khwaja Nazimuddin, and he then dissolved the Constituent Assembly on 24th October 1954. This was a great setback for Pakistan in constitutional matters, that within 6 years the Legislative Assembly was dissolved. The Speaker of the Assembly then, Maulvi Tamizuddin Khan, he challenged this action in Sindh High Court, and the court upheld the stand of the Speaker, but the Federal Court, in a majority decision in May 1955, decided against the Speaker. So you see, this strife between the judiciary, legislature, and the administration or executive has started already becoming a part of Pakistani political life. Then a new Prime Minister comes in, Chaudhry Muhammad Ali. He was a bureaucrat, and he served as the Secretary General in 1947. And he moved one great change to merge the 4 provinces of Pakistan into one unit, which came into effect in October 1955. This was a political game to make West Pakistan equal to East Pakistan, because East Pakistan was the largest in population, and West Pakistan, if divided into 4 provinces, could not be seen as that majority. And by 1956, we were still a British Dominion when a constitution was made in February 1956. But Chaudhry Muhammad Ali could not be saved even by this step, and the newly created Republican Party forced Chaudhry Muhammad Ali's resignation on 3rd of September 1956. Now you see, the things that are so familiar today with you, they had all their first entries within first 8-9 years into Pakistan's politics. The next Prime Minister, Hussain Shahid Sohrawardi, was the only seasoned politician after Liaquat Ali Khan, and a lawyer himself, a great political mind, and he understood Pakistani politics. He was the Chief Minister of East Bengal during the Great Calcutta Killing and had stayed with Gandhi to keep peace in Calcutta during partition. But he was not basically the elected representative of Bengal, so that way his membership of Pakistan's Constituent Assembly was questioned and was later cancelled. Then the issue that you are so familiar today, which keeps on surging up, is the linguistic differences. And this language movement in Bengal enlarged Sohrawardi's role, and he quite rightly called himself last bridge between the eastern and western wing of Pakistan. And at that point of time, we never knew that he was so true. Basically, he became a prime minister at a time which was a time of a very unpopular cause. The Suez Canal has resulted in Anglo-French-Israeli invasion of Egypt in 1956, and while the people of Pakistan were outraged by the invasion, Muslim countries as zeros, as were called by H.S. Sohrawardi. Then President Iskandar Mirza steps in, and he was he did not prove to be that effective either. His foreign policy initiatives and the impact left by this charismatic leaders of foreign affairs and interior politics were weak and temporary. Iskandar Mirza could not hold the vision of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the Qaid-e-Azam. And he was almost a failure when Maulana Bhashani defected from his party, and the desertion of Republican Party enabled President Iskandar Mirza to force his resignation. Earlier, a resignation was demanded from a prime minister. Now a resignation is being demanded by the Speaker of the Assembly. You can see that the position of the National Legislative Assemblies was getting compromised. The next Prime Minister, I.I. Chundrigar, had been a stalwart of Bombay Muslim League, but he was the shortest term Prime Minister from 18th October to 16th December, and he resigned over the question of separate or joint electorates. Now you see, this question of separate and joint electorates was very valid, very justified when it was between Hindus and Muslims, but later here in Pakistan, when it became a question of minorities and majority, this question was never tackled wisely. The seventh minister came as Prime Minister, as Sir Firoz Khanun, and he had very impressive political credentials. He became the first native to become defense member of the Viceroy's Council, and Firoz Khanun remained Prime Minister for only 9 months when he was removed by General Ayub Khan in the Pakistan's first military coup in 1958. This democratic era of 7 years was very weak, unstable, full of intrigues and misunderstandings. Misunderstanding is the worst thing in politics because it can nurture such differences that they become very hard to erase. Pakistan economy got a little perk up by the Korean War in 1952, but the Governor General Ghulam Muhammad and President Iskandar Mirza, who had the support of the bureaucracy and perhaps some elements in the armed forces also. So the government of political representatives was losing its control. And 20th September 1958 is the date when Abdul Hakim, the Speaker of East Pakistan, was physically expelled from the House amidst loud allegations that he was insane. Then the Deputy Speaker Shahid Ali, who had unfortunately to preside over proceeding, died as the result of the violence in the assembly. So we didn't have a real good, strong, or even decent beginning of Pakistani politics and of political understanding. It was always for the basic investments that the political parties made, and the vested interest kept these politicians at daggers drawn. And these allegations and these incidents, coupled with when Qalat was almost preparing to secede, this really created a very alarming situation, and everyone was alarmed of its results. So President Iskandar Mirza abrogated the 1956 constitution, dismissed the Prime Minister, and dissolved the assemblies. This was the advent of first martial law in Pakistani history. On October 7, the martial law was proclaimed by the Commander-in-Chief, General Muhammad Ayub Khan, and he was appointed as Chief Martial Law Administrator on 24th October same year. General Ayub Khan was designated as Prime Minister, but on October 27, he exiled the President Iskandar Mirza and occupied the office of the President. The public was totally disheartened, disillusioned, and despondent. They sincerely hailed the military coup, and President Ayub, regarded as a savior, began his rule with expressions of approval from the public. He is known as the benefactor because this very unstable politics had made the public wary of politics.